Hello and welcome to Little Blessings Online, your baby and toddler group wherever and whenever you are in the world, by which we mean you can watch it at all sorts of times and places, however old you are. It's good. So, my name's Andy B.
I'm Jo.
And if you'd like to never miss out on anything we do, which is a really good idea because we do lots of awesome stuff, it's utterly fabulous, he says in a humble way. You can like us on Facebook, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and the very best thing you can ever do is go to our website and sign up there, and you will never miss anything.
Fantastic, yeah.
Or anything that we put out.
Yeah, and you won't miss Little Blessings.
No.
And today we've got some great stuff, and we're looking at trees because our story today is about a tree. And there are so many trees out there. It's incredible, such a variety, and we've got some pictures to show you. That first picture, I believe, is an
apple
tree. So there's lots of trees that have different fruit.
You believe correctly.
Good. There's huge amounts of different apple trees as well, isn't there? There's like
apples you can eat, apples you need to cook to eat.
Yeah, there's so many, and you've got pears, and you've got banana trees. Yeah,
grapefruit tree, pineapple tree, pizza
amazing.
Tree.
Lots of fruit trees. And the next tree is, that's a weeping willow. It's probably got a proper name for it, but it's amazing, isn't it?
I think the proper name is weeping willow.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not Latin.
Okay, no, that's right. And it's like whoosh, it goes right down. It's very, very different. Whoosh. I've seen some of them.
It whooshes.
Whooshes down. Love that tree. Really nice. And the next one is the oak tree.
You have an oak tree in our garden.
We do. And they can, trees do grow and last for years, like hundreds of years, thousands of years, don't they? What's the oldest tree? We found it out. It was like thousands of years old.
The oldest tree has been so far dated to about 4,000 or 5,000 years old. It's 4,000 or 5,000.
It's incredible, isn't it? Trees are amazing.
But you can see with that particular oak tree, there's little stilts, like walking sticks for it.
Oh, sweet.
Because it gets old, it has to have little sticks. And because oak trees are so protected, you'll see at the bottom right-hand corner of that picture, there's a little stilt under one of the branches that's sunk down a bit, and a bit behind that there's another one. And they have and there's one in the UK somewhere in Nottinghamshire, Nottinghamshire or something, And they've got an oak tree, and it's got massive walking sticks that
Wow.
hold it up because otherwise it would die, and they want to protect it.
Makes it seem like a person, doesn't it? They
does.
are with us a long time. And the next tree, because there's two types of tree. There's ones that shed their leaves in the winter and autumn and so. And there's those that don't shed the trees, the evergreen.
Evergreen.
And the Christmas tree. That's what we know it as, isn't it? Beautiful. Lots
We're now
of
in
green.
the middle of October. Christmas isn't that far around the corner,
that's
so we
it.
have to think Christmas trees.
Fantastic. Lovely trees there. Lots of variety for us to see. Fruit trees, trees that lose their leaves, trees
Pizza
that
tree.
don't. No, not a pizza tree.
Car tree, pineapple tree.
No, I don't think we get those. But what's amazing about trees is that you can go underneath if it's raining. That'll keep you.
Do you know what really
Dry.
upset me as a child?
What?
There isn't a money tree.
Oh,
No,
it's a shame.
but there was a bank. I'm not going to say which one, but there was a bank when I was a little boy, and they had an advert for a children's bank account, and the
Yeah.
picture was a tree with money growing off it.
Oh.
And I remember going into said bank as a little boy to sign up my bank account, and the woman had to deal with a very tearful me when they said
Oh.
it doesn't actually grow on trees because I believed the picture.
Oh, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees.
I was very upset.
But trees are amazing. They're fantastic.
Well,
aren't they?
actually, money does grow on trees because it's paper, and paper comes from.
Ah.
Actually, it's plastic now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Money grew on trees, now money doesn't, but it didn't when I was a kid.
But trees are amazing. We can do
Yes.
so much with trees. Fantastic.
Mm.
Coming up next then.
Story
is,
time,
No,
art time,
song time.
song time.
What time is it?
I had one of the three. Story time.
It is
It is
story
story
time.
time. I got you. I get told off for being forgetful, and I was correct for a change. It is for a change. So story time. Dave the dog.
Yes.
We like Dave the dog. All I can say on this one is it was a good fun and recording. And when I got to watch it, we laughed.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you'll enjoy Dave the dog and Daniel again, and some trees.
And trees.
A tree.
A tree.
Singular.
Just one tree.
Just one.
For story time today, it's dreams, Daniel, and a tree. But first, let's call up Dave the dog to join us. Dave! Hello! Welcome! Can't hear ya. What's happened?
All right.
Did you press the wrong button again?
Oh, just a bit.
I thought you were doing your ventriloquism thing or something. You know, when you're trying to make it look like... No, you weren't doing that. It went wrong, did it?
I don't need to practice. It's too good.
Okay, well, we'll have some of that later. Look, Dave, are you ready for the story?
Always.
It's dreams, Daniel, and a tree.
Are you going to ask me what the story is again?
Well, you never know. We'll see what happens, shall we? So this one is... Poor old King Nebuchadnezzar's had another dream. And he doesn't understand what it is. King Nebuchadnezzar, remember the king back then with Daniel?
That's a funny name, that.
It is a funny name, but that's his name. I don't know. His mum and dad gave him that name, I guess. Well, he basically had this dream. He was living in the palace, got lots of stuff. Everything was going really well for him. But he had these dreams, and it kind of frightened him, actually.
It's another scary story.
Well, he was a bit frightened. He was a bit worried by it. Quite unusual. So this
I'll
time...
wait down here a minute.
Well, he woke up the next day, and you know the usual thing. You know the drill. He asks all his wise man what this dream meant. It's all right. It's all right. It's there's some difficult parts to this story, but it does end up good in the end.
Is it PG rated?
It is PG rated, yeah.
Is it DG rated for doggies?
Dogs, yeah, you'll be all right. It's fine. So he's had this funny dream, and it's made him a bit worried, a bit frightened. So he calls his wise man in, these people who study the stars, fortune tellers, magicians. He says, right, I'll tell you my dream. This time he's going to tell them the dream, and I want you to tell me what it means. Of course, they didn't have a clue, did they? None of them understood what his dream meant. So then Daniel turns up, and he went, oh, great, Daniel, you'll be able to interpret my dream. So
Daniel's good at them dreams, eh?
Yeah, the king remembered, you see, from last time. So the king says to Daniel, right, this is what happened in my dream. So when I was lying in my bed, this is what I dreamed. I saw a large tree in the middle of the earth.
I like trees.
Yeah. The tree grew very tall and strong, reaching high into the heavens for all the world to see. It had fresh green leaves, and it was loaded with fruit for all to eat.
Car seat.
Can't see it. It's huge. Everybody could see it. And even the wild animals lived in its shade, and the birds nested in the branches. And all the world was fed by this tree.
Does it say if there was any dogs?
No dogs. Well, actually, if there was a wild dogs, they'd have been under that tree getting shade. So in King Nebuchadnezzar's dream, there's this amazing tree. She's awesome. Sounds lovely, doesn't it?
I like trees.
Unfortunately, the dream doesn't stop there, you see, because something happens. There's this message, this messenger from heaven says, cut that tree down.
Was it one of them slow angels or a quick one?
I think it was one of them fast ones because he come and they did it straight away.
He'd had his coffee.
He came down from heaven and he said, cut that tree down. And the tree was cut down and you lost all its fruit.
How'd they cut it down? Was it a chainsaw?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't actually say, but if it's from someone from heaven, they've got ways to do these things, haven't
like
they?
A laser beam.
Well, the tree got cut down.
You could take his ale off his head, couldn't you, and lob it at the tree? That'd work.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say in the story how he did it, but the tree got cut down, so it wasn't this big, strong, amazing tree anymore. It was bush gone.
I like the Halo version.
Okay, well, we're not sure how the tree came down, but it definitely came down, and then it was just a stump. That was all it was, with some bronze on top. And it talked about basically this person having to go into the wild with the animals because he'd lost his
transformed
tree.
into a stump.
Well, it was cut down, and then obviously all the fruit was gone, and all that luscious leaves was all gone.
Fair enough.
So that's what happened. And do you know what, Daniel?
Was it third place? Is that why it was bronze?
What, like the Olympics? Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. It was just to stop it was just to completely and utterly cut this tree off. It wasn't going to happen anymore. That's it. End of tree. And so Daniel, actually, he got quite afraid. Well, you know how Daniel is courageous and brave. I mean, he was in the lions the other day.
Yeah, that angel with a cup of coffee day.
Well, this time he was afraid. Now, if Daniel's afraid, there's a good reason. And what it was, he was a bit worried about what the dream meant because it wasn't
I'll just wait down here.
Yeah, it wasn't a good message for poor King Nebuchadnezzar. And Daniel says, I really wish I could give this dream to an enemy, but this is for you. That big tree is you, King Nebuchadnezzar. And the king said, come on, you've got to tell me what it means because
I thought he was a man, that king.
He was a what?
You're saying he's a tree now. I thought he was a man.
In the tree represented the king in the dream. It was like a representation.
Like a metaphor.
A metaphor, yeah.
I saw it in a thesaurus. I don't know what it means, but it sounds good.
But it represents the king. He was prosperous. He lived in the palace. There was lots of good things. And
he had lots of rings, like a tree.
Yeah, that's true. And lots of good stuff. He lived in a palace. Everything was going well for him. But you know what? He wasn't very good to the poor. And he was full of his own importance. He's very arrogant and like, look at me, look what I've achieved.
Did they have any doggy shelters?
No, I don't think he wasn't very nice
you
to
see,
dogs.
that's bad man, that.
It
no
is.
Doggy shelters.
No, he was in trouble. He wasn't being very good to the poor. He wasn't doing what he should do, and God was not happy with him. But so Daniel said, look, sort yourself out, repent, turn from what you're doing, put yourself right with God, look after the poor,
Does
and
it
you'll
matter
be all
which way
right.
you turn? Left or right?
You've got to do a U-turn, I think. Like it says on the sat nav, do a U-turn.
Then you can't see my face, can you?
Yeah. He had to completely about turn and stop being nasty and be nice again.
Was he dizzy?
He wasn't. He didn't.
I feel a bit dizzy now.
Do you know what happened, Dave?
No, I don't, because I don't know the story. We are here again, are we?
He didn't listen to the dream. He didn't listen. Basically, the dream said, if you don't repent, if you don't turn from your ways, then you're going to lose the palace. You're going to lose all your stuff. You're going to get kicked out of the palace. You're going to lose being king. Yeah, big deal, wasn't it? So Daniel said, look, turn, sort yourself out with God because you're going to lose it all. And do you think he listened? Do you think the king listened to Daniel? Do you think the king listened to the dream?
Yes, because Daniel's good with coffee and angels, so that makes the king have to listen.
No, the king didn't listen.
No.
And so 12 months later, the dream came true. He was kicked out of the palace. He lost being in the king, and he had to go and live out in the field, in the wild, with the wild animals. And he was just a very changed person. He wasn't like this big, proud person anymore. He was on the floor.
You would be, wouldn't you?
You would be, yeah. You'd be a bit different, wouldn't you?
It's sad.
It was sad. It was very sad. And it happened for 7 periods of time. So I'm thinking maybe a few years, maybe 7 years or something, quite a long time. He was out in the wilderness.
That's a long time in doggy years.
That is actually.
That's like turning 50.
Yeah, but he wouldn't listen, would he? The dream told him, God warned him. He says, you can't be like that. You can't be nasty to people. You've got to turn from this. 1 minute he's saying God's brilliant and wonderful and how he's saved Daniel, and the next minute he's just being all this and let's look at me.
He wasn't very consistent in his thought processes, was he?
No, but...
He needs a priority list or a to-do list. Oh, to-do list.
To do, be nice to my friends. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Well, he learned his lesson the hard way. So after 12 months, he did say sorry to God. He did turn all the way around to be nice, repented, turned away from his bad behaviour to be a nice king. And he got all his stuff back. He got his kingship back. He got the palace back. He went back into the palace. Everything was cushy.
Did he have a doggy shelter after that?
I think he did. Doggy shelters.
You can always tell how nice someone is if they look after dogs.
Yes, I reckon he would have done because he'd be nice to dogs at last. But he had to learn his lesson the hard way, Dave, didn't he?
Oh.
But he wouldn't listen to Daniel. He wouldn't listen to the dream. He had to learn the hard way. He had to be in the wilderness until he said sorry.
My mate Bert ain't learning the hard way neither. Keeps losing on his computer because he ain't got fingers. He reckons he'll learn how to do it.
Oh, dear me. Maybe you can help him. Do you think you could help him?
No.
No, there's no helping him, is there? Well,
it's beyond help.
Well, that's what happened to King Nebuchadnezzar. He had to learn the hard way. He had to go into the wilderness, and finally he learnt.
Oh.
So it was a good end to the story, really, because he did go back into the palace. He did get to be king again, but he wasn't as nasty and full of himself. He was much more kinder and a nicer person afterwards. So that's good.
More kinder. It's good English, that ain't. Now you're starting to speak, Dave.
I know, you're having an influence on me, aren't you? Yeah. So what did you think of that story?
Oh, it's good, that. I like the tree.
Tree? Why do you like the tree?
Sticks.
Sticks, yeah.
Because if that tree fell down, there'd be lots of sticks.
Actually, yes, so the tree did come down, so there would have been lots of sticks.
Where was it? Can I have a GPS location?
No, that's in Babylon. It's a long way away, but it was Babylon. It's a different country.
Is that near Birmingham?
No, it's in a completely different continent and different area. And in fact, it was thousands of years ago as well. So it's like long gone, that tree. Anyway, it was a dream, remember? It wasn't real.
Oh, well.
Remember, it's just a dream. Yeah.
Good dream.
Well, I tell you what, you need to go and find a tree, don't you, then, and tell us about it.
What? I don't need a wee.
No, to get your sticks. Your sticks.
Oh,
I thought you wanted your
right,
sticks.
then, yeah.
So you like that story? Happy ending. That's what we like, isn't it? Brilliant. Thank you for joining us, Dave.
Go with ventriloquism. I can speak in different languages now in ventriloquism.
Different languages.
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah, ready. What language?
Did you get that?
Well, what language? Because I don't speak. But what language was it?
That was English. You're French.
Go on then.
You see, it's different, Aid.
I couldn't quite catch it, if I'm honest.
Was you listening?
I really, really listened this time.
Do you want to go again?
Yeah.
Pick a language and I'll do it in an accent.
German. Oh, I can hear
You
that.
See?
Yeah, there's a slight difference, isn't there? Yeah, absolutely. What did you say? And was it about trees and sticks, was it?
Oh,
I see. I picked up on most of it.
I want a tree. Where is it, please?
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you for joining us, Dave the dog. We'll see you next time.
Oh, ta-ra a bit.
Bye for now. And that's story time.
Okay. We're laughing very much to that last bit. That was so funny.
Babylon near Birmingham. Yes, that well known.
Very funny. Dave was brilliant. He was on form about trees and stuff. It was great. So we're going to move now to song time. So get yourself a space so you
anybody.
can do the actions. We've got Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and was it David was a shepherd boy. So enjoy.
Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then the traveller in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. David was a shepherd boy. He had 3 sheep, 1, 2, 3. 1 sheep was happy, 1 sheep was sad. The other sheep wore silly hats and smiled at his dad. David was a shepherd boy. He had 3 sheep, 1, 2, 3. David was a shepherd boy. He had 3 sheep, 1, 2, 3. 1 sheep stood high, 1 sheep stood low. The other sheep liked eating grass and jumped to and fro. David was a shepherd boy. He had 3 sheep, 1, 2, 3. David was a shepherd boy. He had 3 sheep, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, me.
It's going well.
It's scripted, honest. So, next up, it's not story time because we've done that.
Yep.
And it's not song time because we've just done that, which only leaves us with art time, which is next. And for art time today, we are doing a tree colour. Well, I say we, it's the royal we. Not like a wee, but like a we us. It's like a Joe thing. So Joe now does a art time, all to do with making your own little tree.
For art time today, we're going to make a tree, a collage, a tree picture. And so you'll need some white paper, and you can have a drawing of a tree on there. So you'll need to draw that with something, a pen or something, or a pencil. Then we'll need some coloured paper, so green for the leaves on the tree and yellow or red for the fruit or any other colours that you've got lying around. I put some brown foam for the trunk of the tree, but you could also colour that in with a crayon or a pencil or paint. So let's get started then. So you take your white piece of paper and draw a tree. And so I just do a simple trunk like that down there, and then a bush like that, whoosh like that for the tree. And you just need an outline because you're not really going to see this. For this picture, I'm just going to colour in the trunk rather than cover it with anything. And so you can do that as well. Just colour it in as much as you want there for the trunk, just so we can see that is the trunk. And then what we'll need to do, so we can stick the bits of paper on, need to put glue on the top part of the tree. So if we completely fill this part of the tree with glue, And I've put one together so that we can do this more quickly. Ta-ta! And now, this is the fun bit. We basically stick all the green squares on. So you take your green paper and cut it into squares or oblongs or circles or whatever shape, just doesn't really matter. Maybe you've got bits of paper, and different coloured green would work very well because, to be fair, trees can be different coloured in the greens. And you can have big squares, little squares, and just stick them onto the glue like that, and completely cover it. So you can't see the glue anymore or see any gaps. And it doesn't matter if you completely cover the picture because it's all bushy and a lovely luscious tree like that. And there we go, just completely cover it up. Now if you're running out of glue and it's not sticking anymore, just put a little bit on. So I'm going to put a little bit on there just to cover that little gap there. And I noticed that one's not sticking, so I'm going to stick that on like that. And I want to cover that, I think, there. And you see you get this massive, great big, luscious green tree, which is awesome. And the interesting part, how are we going to get this fruit on? Well, we're going to need some glue again. And what we do is we take the other colour that we're going to use, whether it's red or yellow, and we basically scrunch up, do some scrunching. And we stick them on. So I've scrunched a load here already to go on my tree. And we just blob a bit of glue onto the tree and then stick on our fruit like that. And you can put the fruit wherever you want. Oops, that one's not stuck down, so it's all right. We can stick it down. There we go. I'm going to put a bit there. I've got funny looking red glue just so you can see it, but you can have white glue so you can't see it. And there we go. And you can put as much fruit on as you like. If you want to put 8 or 10 or 20 or, or you just want to put 1 or 2. Totally up to you. Just scrunch the bits of paper and stick them on. It's quite good fun. I think that needs a bit more. I'll put one up there, I think. It looks a bit different from the other tree because that one looks like probably red apples maybe, and this, I don't know, maybe it could represent bananas or pineapples or something like that. And I've got one more to go on. There we go. And I don't feel like this picture is finished without colouring in the stalk, actually, the trunk. So I'm going to colour it in. And there we go. Lovely tree collage. Enjoy. Okay, wow,
it's
that's
not me this time. It's definitely you this time.
Me. There's trees. Yeah, red. You can use a red one or yellow one or whatever colours you've got.
Tree.
And a pineapple tree. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed doing that. It's sort of collage, bits of paper stuck on, so that's nice. Well, it's time to say goodbye. It's come to the end of this episode of Little Blessings Online. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Andy?
Yes. No, so I had Julie Andrews in my head with the singing.
What do you mean?
Goodbye. From the Sound of Music. Anyway, we were singing that in the break. So we talked about marriage matters, which is something Joe and I do for older people, I guess, really. And especially for mums and dads and people who want to get married or be married. And here's our little video, explains all about marriage matters just for you.
In celebration of our 25th wedding anniversary, Berry Bunch launches Marriage Matters.
Marriage Matters is real life, it's real talk, and it's keeping it real. So real life, this is our own life as a married couple of, at this point, 25 years, and how God's been faithful to us through that. Real talk, we're talking about real issues in life, in the world, in our own marriage, and stuff that you've probably got going on in your marriage, whether you're married, not, or thinking about getting married. And keeping it real, we're not here to just talk rubbish. We're here to talk about real stuff. So it's going to be real stories, real things going on. And hopefully to encourage you in your marriage.
Yeah, we want to talk about marriage. We want to work on our marriage because marriage matters.
As you can see, it's a super serious thing, Marriage Matters. So if you want to know just how super serious our first episode was, we've got a little clip just for you to watch. So what's the best part of your marriage so far?
Oh my goodness. I suppose, to be honest, coming to 25 years, I'm quite chuffed that we've lasted this long.
I'll try not to spit it out.
I am.
There you go. So there's Marriage Matters. We ask really sensible questions, and the thing that I got from my first episode of Marriage Matters at 25 years of marriage is that Joe's really amazed that she's lasted this long. So we talk about all sorts of exciting things like that. So we hope you'll check out Marriage Matters from the 23rd of October on all sorts of places. Best place for you to start would always be berrybunch.family website. So that is the end of our session today. So we hope you've enjoyed this. You can go back and rewatch the art collage. You can go online and watch either of those songs or any others. And I would heartily recommend going back and watching Dave again.
Yes.
As he tries to navigate from Babylon to Birmingham in 2021, which is quite good fun. So thanks for joining us this time. We will see you again very soon. It's goodbye from me.
Bye.
There are loads of ways to keep in touch with the Berry Bunch. Visit our website and make sure you sign up to the blog and get notified on all our videos, posts, exciting news and seasonal events. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get told when we post brand new video resources. Take a look over Ding Dash, a fabulous place that connects people from all over the world. Like us on Facebook, where we hang out and post extra stuff to encourage and inspire you. We're on Instagram too and share extra photos when we're out and about. And if you're enjoying, using or sharing what we do, visit us over on Patreon and you can become part of the extended Berry Bunch family by supporting us with the cost of all we do.